Like, oh, I have a gig on Friday. By Tuesday, I'm depressed because I need to gig again. I think COVID has probably solved that issue for me. My name is Gabrielle Cavassa, and I'm an artist and a singer here in New Orleans. I grew up in Escondido, California, listening to Frank Sinatra and Billie Holiday. Came here on vacation, and I was here for like 1 hour, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to live here. And there was so much music everywhere. Frenchmen Street was just like going crazy. I had never seen a concentration of music like that before, and everyone's talking on the streets and stuff. And I met Jameson Ross one of my first nights, and he gave me some life advice or something. I was like, man, I like that guy. And then I moved here 6 months later and started working with him pretty quickly. I like singing love songs. Inside I'm sent to late night. But my favorite singer for so long has been Billie Holiday. And so that repertoire has been huge for me as I've come into my own as an artist.
Why Billie Holiday?
Because no matter what Billie Holiday sings about, she's singing with so much emotion. Even if she's singing a happy song, it can sound sad. And if she's singing a sad song, it can sound happy. She just is really, when she's singing, I feel that I'm understood. And that's how I always want to make people feel when I sing. In my own music, I try to be as honest as possible, especially with vulnerable feelings or hard feelings, because first of all, it feels good to just get it off my chest, but second of all, I want people to experience like real feelings, and I don't want it to be fake or sugar-coated. I want people to know that I'm real and that we are all the same.
When I think too much, I hate me for making me crazy.
I'm experimenting with different things. I don't want to be like in one box. For example, jazz. I want people to know that I'm just an artist figuring it out and sort of exploring different ways to be.
Would you do a pop song?
Yeah, sure. If I wanted to, you know? I remember this one time. It wasn't my first time on stage, but it was a very important time. It was in high school, and it was the biggest stage I had ever been on. It was like a performing arts center, and my school did end of the year show there. And it was my first solo ever. And I was late, of course. Like I missed my cue, so I'm like behind the curtain, and I had ran. And so I'm like out of breath, and I'm like, oh my God, like I don't even think I can sing. I'm so out of breath, and I'd never been more nervous in my life. And then like, it's time for me to go, and they're like, sheesh, get up there and go. And so I went on, and it was just like tremendous, the feeling of like the lights, and I couldn't see anyone because it was dark, but I knew it was packed. And I was so nervous, and I just like clicked on. I wasn't out of breath anymore. I was like really happy to be there. I sang better than I think I had ever sang up to that point. And I was like, oh, wow, I really like this. Like maybe this is something I could do, you know? And that I was like on a high from that performance for like months, until the next year actually that I did that show. Performing did become an addiction, and to the point where I would get withdrawals if I wasn't performing. Like, oh, I have a gig on Friday. By Tuesday, I'm depressed because I need to gig again. I think COVID has probably solved that issue for me. Oh yeah, there is, what I want to say is, I don't know what the prompt is for this, but that I think it's important for me to be here because I am a woman, and I think that energy is so needed in music, you know?
Yeah, what is it like working in a male-dominated field?
Yeah.
state that.
Yeah. The field of music, and then specifically jazz, is extremely male dominated, and that is an adjustment. Now I'm very used to it, but I remember when I was a young woman sort of making my way in this world and nobody was like me around me, and I was like, and learned a lot of lessons that way, and it was hard to sort of get to be myself. I also think one of the things that I acknowledge is that I'm a singer, and so there's actually a spot for me in this music, and there's a lot of women before me who have carved out this path for me, and so it's very difficult to be a woman in a male-dominated industry. You have to be very tough, but there's a spot for me. I wish, and I'm so inspired by the women around me who are carving out their own spots as, you know, instrumentalists or artists of other kinds besides being, you know, the female singer. And I wish there was a lot more of that. I think it's really important for me and for us as women to be here doing what we do and putting that feminine energy into art, because like, God, we need it so bad, and it's something that's very important to me.